Today is Saturday, March 21st, 2026. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is the listener feedback show for Survivor 50, week 4.
Only week 4. It seems like there's been more. This is so packed. Yep, we do recaps on Wednesday after the episode airs, and then Saturday we turn it over to the superfans. Check in, see what they thought. This is going to be an interesting one too, because this is the first time there's mixed results coming in. I guess would be one way to describe it. The extended Zach Brown tribute.
Even the extra video was.
Yeah, it's based on him. Yeah, it's more with Zach Brown. I think Justin has cracked the mystery of this. So when we get to Justin, we'll discuss it a little more as to why there was so much.
A teaser?
Uh-huh. You know it.
Okay.
Let's see, we'll remind everyone at the beginning and at the end that this week's going to be a double elimination. So you pick 2 vote-off choices and then 4 safe votes. Anything else we need to cover business-wise?
Not that I can think of.
All right, let's kick it off with Pete.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy, this is Pete from Boston calling here. Wow, I am truly digging this returning season, baby. What an awesome episode. Even though it was the same team that went back to tribal again, what a blind side. I'm going to let out a great, big, whoa! Yeah, baby. This is Survivor. That's what I'm talking about. Not too quick pace, but fun strategy, great content, entertainment camp life there, solid physical challenges. And how about that reward with Zach Brown? Now, I've heard of him because I know he's been up here in Boston. You heard about all those 14 sellouts at Fenway. But that was a big treat there for Colby being from the South. I think Coach being from Tennessee loved it. Joe, Chrissy, everyone. Aubrey, who's been miserable the whole season, got to get a taste of it too. Aubrey is dodging a bullet. The lucky her teams keep winning. I mean, she has that idol, but I'm so worried her days could be numbered. And then the other team that got immunity, Rizzo, man, love Rizzo. That was entertainment there when they were doing their talent show and the fake wrestling there with Jonathan and Charlie. Rizzo, though, was lucky. That team was losing. He would definitely be on the outs, but he has that idol now thanks to Genevieve. Next week it's a double boot, which hope they don't try to split the votes to maybe flush his idol out if they lose. Anyway, guys, let's talk about Mike White. You knew it was probably coming. Didn't think it would happen like this, though. All because I think he just overplayed his hands, and because he was too close to Angelina, and finally to Steph and Hubicki. Hubicki, you can argue, even though he's friends with Mike White and Angelina, got revenge with David versus Goliath. However, he's going to have to watch his back with Emily. She nearly blew it again, but he pulled it out, though, and Ozzy missed out on the vote because he thought it was Angelina, so they're going to have to deal with his wrath. But sad for Mike White. He was entertainment to watch, but he didn't need to be out there. Even Probst was surprised, but it was a solid episode, guys. A great episode, actually. I loved it. Now I got to hear Mike White's interview to see. He couldn't. I don't think he saw it coming based on the edit. He was shocked. I wonder how shocked he was that Hubicki turned on him. But it was a great episode, guys. I loved it. Take care. Woo.
Whoa, thanks, Pete. Yeah, Mike White had a lot to say, and he is just, I did not remember how big a fan of filler words he is. He doesn't complete sentences and says the word like just a ridiculous amount of times when he's trying to answer questions in his interviews. I found him really hard to listen to. For whatever reason, it was easier to read. There's other folks here in the feedback that are going to go into some of his responses. So I'll say one of the things, I don't know if anyone else covered it, was that he did write season 4 of The White Lotus after he got voted out. He did not stay in Ponderosa. He did not like the vegan options that were there, so he went somewhere else. He was on his own and wrote the next season. So he said it was very, from that perspective, he got what he needed there. But he's not friends with Christian at all at this point.
So you're talking about this current season. He didn't stay at Ponderosa.
No. He said he lost 15 pounds in 9 days. So that was really doing a number on him.
While he was in the game.
Yeah. Well, and you could tell from what his percent body fat was that it was quite low. So he was losing muscle, and that's even harder on you. So it's not like when you're burning fat, and that's actually fueling ketones. So he said it was just exceptionally hard this time. He reckoned maybe it was because he wasn't fat. I think he was onto something there. But yeah, and then he's a vegan. He did not like the vegan options there, so he offered to pay his own way for him to be somewhere else where he could have other food options, but not returning to society and, creating any spoilers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess in that case, how did they say no?
Well, especially to him.
Well, they would have to anybody else probably, but not to him.
Yeah, you can tell he's got a special deal going.
Oh, sure.
And other fans are going to weigh in on some of the things he said, so we'll talk more about that as we go through it. Thanks, Pete. Next up, we got a call from Rebecca.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy and all my super fan Survivor friends. This is Rebecca calling from Oahu, and I just have to say that this deadhead who only likes classic rock was completely floored by Zach Brown and his appearance on Survivor. I absolutely loved it, and immediately the next day downloaded a bunch of his music onto my Spotify. And I have to admit, on my bike ride yesterday, I listened to Colder Weather, I'm going to say 4 times, and shed a tear each time, and called my boyfriend in New Hampshire and was, dude, so our song, this is amazing. And he was, how do you not know about this guy? And I'm a deadhead. I like classic rock. But thank you, Survivor. You made me a new fan, and I've seen a lot of chatter online. Oh, it was so silly. Why would you include that? I thought it was great. If Jerry Garcia had shown up on a beach where I was competing in a reality show and I got to sit and listen to him sing to me and make me ahi, I would have been totally blown away too. And I thought it was so freaking cool that he was a fan of the players. What an amazing merging of different worlds. I loved it. Going into this episode, I was feeling some serious fan fiction that Vatu was going to go out, Mike was going to overplay his hand, Christian was going to make a move and get Mike out. And I'm watching the episode and I'm seeing them going, let's do Angelina, let's do Emily, who totally should go out next because she is so chaotic. And then I watch Christian go, okay, I'm being manipulated. I'm going after Mike. And I literally sat up where I'm lying in my bed watching. I'm like, there it is. There's my fan fiction. I love the episode. I am all for Christian. He's so cool. Not sure where Ozzy is heading. Was he having a guy crush on Mike? Or was he fanning on Mike? I'm not sure. Emily, you're so chaotic. I really think she might be one of the ones to go out next week. And I still remain confused by Aubrey. I feel like she's almost creating for show this rivalry with Genevieve, but I also really feel like Charlie's doing the same thing with Rizzo, that it's totally for show. Because why would you be so upset? Why would you not consider that obviously they both made it really far? I said this last week. He's going to watch season 49 and be like, oh, he and Savannah were actually number ones. I just feel like too much drama. We have enough drama on Survivor already. We don't need more drama. I loved watching Joe and Coach and Colby be so moved by listening to Zach Brown sing to them. It really got me. Maybe I'm just a sap. I resonate so much with music. I was just putting myself in their position like, God, it would feel so amazing to see one of my heroes sit there. I'm with like 7 other people and they're singing just to me. I've literally had dreams like that. And I like country music now. So there you go. Thank you guys for everything, Joanne and Stacy, all that you do. It is pouring in Oahu. It's going to pour all weekend, and I am already homesick for my North Shore bike ride. I'm leaving a week from today, going back to California, and I can't complain because, let's face it, I'm freaking spoiled. I got to be here all winter. Much love to everybody. Stay safe, everyone. Bye-bye.
Excellent. Well, how about that? Zach Brown got a new fan. That part worked.
Right.
Thanks, Rebecca. Good job. Next up, we got a call from Rashmi.
I was so sad to see Mike go. It's a real travesty. He was so much fun, and I wanted to see him be in the game longer. But I think for Christian, I'm loving it, but I'm sorry he made the wrong move, in my opinion. He should have kept Mike and got rid of Angelina or Emily, because I'm really think it is going to come down to the Gabby situation all over again. Emily flippin'. She is going to flip on him, and she'll be the one who will vote him out. He's seen how erratic she's been. That's the way it is. I'm sure when you're in the game, you don't see it. Now, I really don't know who this person was, the star, the Zach Brown person who came. And that part of the game was really boring for me because I don't know him. I don't know his music. And I don't know why we want to see him doing all his Jacques Cousteau bit about diving under the water with this big gun and spear and shooting sharks. Really, I was not interested in that. I would have rather seen the players at their reward and talking strategy or having a good time than to hear his song. But I suppose that's what people who like the person, and they must have enjoyed it, but it did nothing for me. And I've heard there's some other person who's going to come, some person that I don't know again. So that it just takes it away from the game of Survivor. And in his interview, Mike White did say that it has shifted, and I do agree with him that the focus that was on the human nature and how people react to situations and stressful situations and how that has changed with all these twists and turns, saying that I did enjoy the game all in all, and I had no compassion for Dee and her tears. So who's going next? I think the fight is going to be between Rizzo and Charlie. So it's either one of them, I think, will be going home. And Rizzo's got a idol, so that might save him, and Charlie might go. So on that note, cheers, bye.
Cheers, Rashmi. Remember to make 2 picks there, too. That's going to be tricky to figure out who on Vatu to target. Thankfully, we got listener feedback, though. We'll get some clues here. Next up, we got an email from Becca in South Carolina. Hi, Joanne and Stacy. Hi, Survivor fans. Although I am, for the first time ever, 100% on entering my family's JSFL picks every week, we have yet to get a vote-off point. Maybe next week when we have 2 chances. I'd say odds are in your favor. Caroline told us last week that we should put Mike as our vote-off, but instead we decided to make him a safe pick. Oh, I guess mom and dad don't always know best. So this week, Caroline got final say in all of the JSFL picks. I'm a little concerned that she picked 2 people with idols to be voted out, but so far she's proving to be a better Survivor analyst than the rest of our family. Okay. I'm not sure I'd consider this episode's reward the best ever, but that salsa sure did look good. It was definitely a great reward for Zach Brown. Trip to Fiji, new fishing spot, meeting people he's watched on TV, and promoting a new song. I thought it was neat to watch Zach Brown spearfish, but I also kind of thought including so much spearfishing footage cost us minutes with the tribes. It was so funny when Chrissy invited him to sleep back at camp with them. I do wonder why, after his rock song on Jimmy Fallon and his rap in last week's episode, Jeff let his chance to perform a Survivor-themed song in another musical genre slip by. Oh my goodness. It's fun to think of other guests that could come in for rewards. Maybe Paul Hollywood from Great British Bake Off could help a tribe carbo load with some fresh baked bread, or maybe an NBA player comes out to give pointers on shooting hoops, and it's actually an advantage because the next challenge involves making a ball into a basket. Or one of HGTV's Property Brothers could improve their shelter. Looking forward to hearing what the other fans have to say. Hope everyone has a great week. Thanks, Becca. Well, let's see, going back to what Rashmi said, she said she didn't want to see any more of Zach Brown, but he did offer some tips inadvertently by way of Genevieve's question in that extra deleted scene video for how to handle the last gasp challenge.
Oh, yeah, how to
which
breathe.
was interesting. Yeah.
Because he can hold his breath for over 4 minutes.
Yeah, he said 4.5 minutes.
So he was telling them how to do that.
Yeah.
But as you said, because they showed it
In a deleted scene.
in a deleted scene,
We won't
probably
get
they're not going to
We
have
won't
it.
get that challenge. Oh, bummer. Thanks again, Becca. Next up, we got a call from Lori.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy and Survivor fans. This is Lori from Southwest Florida calling in with some feedback on the latest episode. I pretty much enjoyed it. I could have done without so much of Zach Brown, but it was a nice reward. I did feel bad that the team finishing second worked so hard and really didn't even get a little fish or something. But all in all, another entertaining episode. I was surprised that Mike White went home. I had picked him for JSFL as my person leaving, but that was based on feedback that I listened to from pretty much Joanne and Stacy, and then I find out neither one of you picked him to go home. So thank you for that tip. It worked out for me. Again, enjoying the season. I'm not really excited about seeing further issues with Ozzy and Christian and that group. They seem pretty much doomed for failure, but with a double elimination coming up, anything can happen, so look forward to seeing it, and I hope you give me some more good tips. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Way to rub it in, Lori.
Yeah, hadn't thought about it lately.
We'll be sure to throw some more suggestions your way.
I was just so sure then. But
Yeah.
come Wednesday
And then we got off the
morning,
trail. Yeah. Good deal. Thanks, Lori. Next up, we got a call from Tara.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. Hi, Survivor friends. This is Tara in New York checking in after episode 4 of Survivor 50. Just to get the negative out of the way off the top real quick, I have to say I was not a big fan of the Zach Brown content. Even if it was my favorite band, favorite artist, I think 5 minutes would have sufficed. I think Zach Brown got more content than some of the players like Tiffany this whole season.
Yep.
Even the secret scene this week I just checked out was more Zach Brown. Although I have to say, I wish they'd included that in the episode instead of watching him spearfish with a bazooka-looking thing or listening to 2 country songs, because it was way more interesting seeing him interact with the players. Moving on, though, the 2 rivalries of Genevieve versus Aubrey and Charlie versus Rizzo continue to be intriguing, and at least one of them should come to a head next week. Charlie is laser focused on Rizzo, and like Joanne said, his one-track mind is a little bit worrying, but I'm rooting for him. Rizzo was pretty cocky for simply being handed an idol, and I'd love to see him get knocked down a peg if he tries to pull those same idol bluff stunts with this cast as he did with a bunch of newbies. It's kind of funny, Rizzo does grow on you, and I actually really like him, but I am 100% Team Charlie here. Once again, though, the real action was over on Vatu this week, and these guys had me out of my seat, pacing around, yelling at the TV. And Joanne, you are not alone. Even since the preseason interviews, I had a sneaking suspicion that Christian might target Mike early in the game. And as we watched last week's Tribal, when Christian interrupted Mike, I said to my friend Sarah, hey, we got to watch that for JSFL next week. But just like you, Joanne, I didn't listen to my gut, so we're both in the same boat. Both Mike and Christian are such great strategists that almost watching them do this little dance with Mike trying to manipulate Christian and Christian then turning around the vote was fascinating and so much fun to watch. Unfortunately, as much fun as it was to watch Christian pull off the big 3-2-1 move, I'm really scared he may have just tanked his game. Yeah. He'll be returning to camp with Ozzy, who's going to be furious, Angelina, who's going to be furious, Stephanie, who holds no allegiance to him, and as much as I love her, Emily has just been the personification of chaos this season. So I'm worried that next week he may need to use that fake idol he hit at Tribal. Overall, it seems like a major theme this season is players dealing with their past. While some players are starting to revert back to their old ways already, like Ozzy going fishing instead of strategizing, I think we're going to see that the players who can learn from their mistakes and adapt their games are going to come out on top. We've lost some great characters in the last couple weeks, so I'm super nervous, but also extra excited for next week's episode, and I can't wait to hear what everyone else has to say. Thank you so much, Joanne and Stacey, as always, and have a great week, everyone.
Thanks, Tara. Yeah, that definitely is interesting with Christian. I'm worried for him, too. He's my USB, and I was worried once he got here because he actually has never had anyone. Because Emily is not on his side. So he's doing the best he can.
I'm not even sure Emily's on her side. So
right. She can't get out of her own way. So
exactly.
Yeah, why would we think that?
Well, she just seems, when she's doing all this blurting out things, like she's just not in control of herself.
Something.
So,
It's
no, I have to.
hard
I have to.
imagine that she's
You'd think with all those
lacks
looks
that
Christian
control.
was giving her, that would kind of stop.
She seems to rebel even harder against that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, Christian described Mike as the most dangerous person out there, so I guess we shouldn't be surprised that he thumped him when he got the chance.
I wasn't surprised at all.
Just didn't choose him for the vote out.
I was going to do it all day, and then I got busy cooking.
I've heard that a few times.
Hey, you got your food, though, didn't you?
Thanks, Tara. Next up, we got a call from Chris.
Hey, Joanne and Stacey. Hey, Survivor fans. I'm sorry I haven't left comments in a while, but I really am enjoying this season. It's great. It's a lot of fun, and I love hearing what y'all have to say about it. And Joanne and Stacey, thanks so much for this show. Thank you for this community. Thank you for providing all of this entertainment. And yeah, that's one of the best things about Survivor. But this year's Survivor is actually good. So that's great. I'm happy about that. I think in the 40s, even though they played it out for 13 episodes, not as much happened over the 26 days, so we didn't get to know the people so well. That's why none of the players from the 40s really stand out to me. I'm sorry. It's kind of like going to a NASCAR race and them having totally new teams every week. You wouldn't know who to pull for, or the cars wouldn't be familiar. But this season 50 is a bunch of teams, a bunch of faces, people that you recognize and appreciate, like the callers and like you, Joanne and Stacey. It's a great season, and I'm glad that Chrissy is doing well. I think she's proven that she's a valuable member of her tribe. And she wasn't voted out last time. I'll give her that. The Zach Brown episode was great for Zach Brown fans. And I can't say that I'm one. I like the alliteration in Zach Brown Band. I mean, if you're a good-looking guy with a beard and you're in the Zach Brown Band, I think that goes a long way. I think that helped contribute to his success. Something else is his chicken fry song. I mean, it's basically a ripoff of the praise tune Sanctuary. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary. You know that song. Except he's talking about chicken fry, and beer, and Friday night, and jeans that feel just right. That's kind of low-hanging fruit. I mean, I could write a country song like that, given that criteria. I'll change my name, too. Well, this is a great season. I'm really enjoying it. And, also, it was kind of neat. The guy that's known for chicken fry, and they're all going to get fed on a reward. They're going to get to eat fish. Great. At least Ozzy's tribe is eating fish for the time being. And, yeah. Great season. Sorry, Mike White. Y'all have a great week. Bye.
Thanks, Chris. Good job. Next up, we got an email from Scott in New Jersey.
Hi, Joanne and Stacey. This is probably my first time submitting feedback. I've been playing JSFL with my wife, Mary, whose name is Scary on JSFL.
Scary Mary.
For years. We've added some family members to JSFL and have our own family side challenge.
Very cool.
For the past 2 seasons, I've been playing solo and losing. I have Rick as my USB so far.
Nice choice.
This past episode has me wondering why Christian keeps confiding any plans with Emily. Emily has twice burned him by immediately blurting out whatever he shares. She is so flippin' aggravating.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. And I think I was making the same faces as Christian when she was telling Ozzy everything. I felt sad for Dee not winning the reward. I don't know Zach Brown or country music, but I can appreciate a private concert if you're a fan. Was Chase Rice not available? I would probably enjoy that reward if I was there, considering the only other music they've heard recently is a DJ Jazzy Jeff rapping. Couldn't someone have tuned Zach's guitar while he was spearfishing instead of having us watch him tune his guitar? Anyway, I got the vote out correct, but I have no idea who
Nice.
to pick this week. I'm hoping the other super fans can give me some insight. Thank you both for providing JSFL and making a great show even more enjoyable with your podcast. I'll close with the South Jersey version of Aloha and say, "Go Birds!" If you know, you know. Take care.
Thanks,
All
Scott.
right.
Good
Thanks,
job.
Scott.
Yeah, we got Steve's automation of the website to thank for being able to grow the JSFL like that. It used to just be an Excel spreadsheet. Now it can handle hundreds of players. Good stuff. Next up, we got a call from Anderson.
Hey, Jordan, Stacey, this is Anderson from North Carolina calling with my feedback for week 4 of Survivor 50. I've been calling with my feedback for the season, and I have good reason. I have not had much time lately, and I still don't have much time, but soon I will have plenty of time to watch Survivor and give my feedback. But I have listened to your recap show these past few weeks, and I let my picks roll over from week 1 all the way to week 3, and I have learned a valuable lesson. So the one vote out point I got, listen to Kelsey. Apparently, they predicted Jenna, Q, and Mike to go home. I'm going to bet my life savings on the next person going home to go home, if Fauci says so. Because they got me a vote off point, and I was not going to pick Mike anyway. So good for me for checking Fauci. I am somehow in third place in the side challenge, while not paying much attention to it, other than your recap show. I have an all-weekend sporting event, so I might not have time to listen to the listener feedback show till Monday morning. And on Monday morning, I will be flying overseas to St. Lucia for my spring break. And I just want to thank y'all for everything you've done, and I hope you can continue all this support for Survivor, and just thanks for everything. Bye.
Okay, Anderson, thank you very much. But let me caution you: if you don't make picks for 3 consecutive weeks, you will be dropped from the game.
Yeah, you're playing with fire a little bit there.
So
You're about to automatically score the lowest in
yeah.
the side challenge if that's
Yes.
indeed what you did. Hopefully that's not how it's going.
Well, but yeah, I hope not too. But I haven't checked. So we hope you weren't dropped. You can let them roll, but if you let them roll 3 consecutive weeks, the site
It thinks you've quit.
it automatically drops you, and you can't get back in the rest of the season. So I hope that didn't happen.
Yeah, and stay away from Kalshi, man. You don't need to be messing with betting sites. That's dangerous. You don't want to get hooked on any of that stuff. Be careful.
Okay, Daddy.
Yeah, Uncle Stacy says,
right,
stay away from Kalshi.
Okay.
And we hope you have just an amazing spring break in St. Lucia.
Sorry,
that sounds
but
awesome.
It could be Grandpa, you know.
Yes, it could. All right. Thanks, Anderson. Next up, we got a call from Drew.
Hey, Joanna, Stacy. Hey, everyone. This is Drew. So I don't know what it is, but this season is living up to the hype. I don't know if they can carry on this pace because it either was going to live up to it or it was going to be like a miserable, terrible crash. But every episode's really good. Even the extended commercial for Jack Brown. Listen, my favorite part of this episode was also 90% of the cast desperately trying with all their heart and soul and TV faces to act like they cared about Zach Brown. Or that they even knew who he was. My favorite, I think, was Rizzo. His what? Oh my gosh! But at the same time, I know there were a few fans in there. I believe Colby. I felt proxy indignant on the behalf of Dee because I just kept thinking maybe someone's going to give up their spot for Dee. She's a person who actually knows this artist and actually cares about it. At least the way we were presented, she actually guessed and she knows his music. Coach, for instance, that guy is mugging for the camera. He couldn't possibly have cared less. Even Joe, I think that was such an act. So that kind of annoys me. In the moment, the whole reward of it didn't bother me because, yes, whatever, celebrity could be worse. The funny thing is that they use the Billie Eilish Boomerang Idol. They use the full name, full title every single time. because they desperately also have to get Billie Eilish's name out there. I doubt, I was like, does she even have anything to do with it? Did they just pay her for her name? And if so, then why her? It's kind of like Sia. It's like these random artists that are big, but not like that level. Maybe it's the level that equates to the level of Survivor or something. I don't know, because to me, of course, Survivor's up there. Billie Eilish and background, I don't really care. But anyway, it was still a good episode. It's early Saturday morning, guys. Give me a break. I'm trying to put my thoughts together before I get distracted by the day. And yes, futsal is a thing. It's like indoor soccer for little kids. And then, but it's toward the end of the month, so I'm running into work. But the kids and I are just really enjoying this season. I think Christian is on the daily, minute by minute, hilarious. And I don't remember thinking that about him last time, but maybe it's just been a while. Aubrey versus Genevieve is fun, and I'm excited to see where that turns out. Genevieve is playing a little bit more savvy than she did last time. And I thought it was funny when Kristen, or I'll catch you up, and Aussie's like, too late, man. I don't know, I just think that angry Aussie is kind of an interesting wrinkle. I can't remember if I put Mike White as safe, but I did put Emily as out. So I was this close, you guys, to getting to full points. I'm telling you, I'm having a comeback in JSFL, and it's going to be pretty steady, slow and steady, but it's going to happen. So I'm not worried about it. I haven't listened to the recaps, so I don't know what the standings are. And again, I can't even remember if I had him safe, but it's too bad that he dug his own grave. He just pushed Christian a little too hard, and I think Christian, he just kind of underestimated Christian, I guess. So I think Christian was smart enough to tell Aussie, though. I think Aussie would have come back around and tried to save his own back by letting Mike know. But good season so far. Just some real performances going on, even from people who think they're giving a real performance and even announcing themselves as legend status. So either building up for a really disappointing success or a really satisfying downfall. So have a good weekend, everyone. Talk to you later. Bye.
Excellent. Thanks, Drew. Next up, we got a call from David.
Survivor fans fume over Zach Brown's screen time. Survivor 50's latest episode is officially the lowest rated in the show's history. Hey, Joanne and Stacy, it's David in Pittsburgh. And why, oh, why do I ever go to social media after an episode already? People are moaning and complaining about all the time spent on Zach Brown. I have to say, I didn't know who Zach Brown was, but I did enjoy the segment after such an abysmal performance by Vatu. I think we needed this little oasis showing the winning team bond together over this shared experience. I thought it was touching, some of the comments about the people that didn't get to have it. And I thought the screenshots of Brown fishing underwater were spectacular. So let's wait until the official figures are in to decide whether or not this was something that worked or not and whether it'll happen again. So a couple comments before we get right to Tribal Council. Emily says, and while getting rid of one of our strongest players may not be working well for us, when it comes to challenges, the strength and loyalty of the people that I'm working with is probably more important after they vote out Q. At Tribal Council, Mike says the strong get stronger and the weak get weaker. Yes, Mike, you voted out Q. And Ozzy says you got to be quick and you got to be a step ahead of everyone else. And he goes fishing after they all voted out Q. I have no sympathy for anyone in Vatu except maybe Stephanie for them voting off Q. Why get off your strong players in the beginning of the game? We're not even a third of the way through. You've got to win these competitions before you decide who's going to go and who's going to stay. So as I said last week, you've got Q and Stephanie and Ozzy being the strength of your team. So I'm sorry, Angelina and Emily, you're the weaker players. Goodbye. But no, they voted out Q. That episode was extremely tense for me because I had Emily going home. And at one point when they're going back and forth like ping pong balls, I kept thinking, she's going to go. I know she's going to go. It's not going to be Angelina. And then when she said I had this sinking feeling, I thought, yes, I get a vote-off point. Anyway, I thought Christian did a great job in lining up the numbers. Mike overplayed his hand, but I'm just not sure Christian, my USB, has put a bigger target on his back. Anyway, I thought it was a really good episode in spite of social media. I'll talk to you guys next week after I find out what the rating really was. This is David in Pittsburgh signing out. Bye.
Yeah, so there's reviews of the episode, and those are the worst in IMDb. And in terms of the overall rating, it's really bad. And then the viewership numbers are, I think, higher than the premiere. So I think it worked the way they wanted it to from a marketing perspective. So it had high viewership, but the reviews are not good. And all the badness centers
all
around
the complaining people, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And sometimes people will marshal together the loud minority voices and review bomb IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes, those kind of places when they really don't like things. But I understand people not liking it. It was a lot of content that had nothing to do with these castaways in their game. So I get that. Good deal. Thanks, David. Next up, got an email from Matt and Summer in East Tennessee. Hey, Joanne and Stacy. This episode was certainly not a typical one, but we still feel we are getting our money's worth from season 50. We'll start with the elephant in the room, the celebrity reward. Full disclosure, Summer is a longtime Zac Brown fan and honestly empathized with Dee's tears over missing out on the reward. That said, it was an odd choice to focus so much of the episode on this and suspect most Survivor fans, unlike Colby and Summer, were not singing along to colder weather. It's obvious that Vaatu is our disaster tribe. Sure, it is entertaining to watch bad decisions play out, but it gets a little repetitive week after week. We are ready to see the other tribes get a chance to scheme and scramble. That's coming our way for sure. Christian's ability to plan so many steps ahead and successfully use the 3-2-1 vote to take out Mike White was impressive. Or maybe we should call it now this is listed as 11-10-1 vote, like Christian's t-shirt says, but that's actually binary. In the order that you wrote it in binary, it's 3-2-1. I don't know, Christian's shirt, I think it's 1-2-3. So it's a different number base, but it's actually just 3-2-1.
His shirt is 01 and then the 10.
1-0 and 1-1. Yeah, so it's a base 2 number representation. So that actually in decimal equates to, if you list it 3-10-1, like Matt did here, that would be 3-2-1. That's probably more binary than anyone ever wanted to hear. Fingers crossed, Mike's prediction that Christian is setting himself up for a repeat of Gabby's betrayal doesn't come to pass. I'm definitely with you on that one. As Seinfeld might say, what's the deal with Emily? Managing her is becoming a full-time job with a lack of a filter that is truly amazing. If flippin' Emily was our ride or die, we would skip the ride and just walk alone. Even though we haven't picked her for vote out yet, we are both pulling mightily for her to make her way to Ponderosa sooner rather than later. Jeff keeps trying to push the narrative that this season is an opportunity for our players to take what they learned from previous seasons and play a different and presumably better game. But are they? Almost everyone has said that they are going to play differently this time, but are they? From our perspective, it doesn't seem like it. So many castaways are more focused on enacting weird revenge fantasies. Charlie's proxy revenge plot against Rizzo is a prime example. We aren't against it per se, but it is a bizarre priority and feels wildly out of place. Summer and I both agree that Vaatu will lose the next immunity challenge. The group may decide to make up with Ozzy by finally sending Angelina home. If Sela is the other tribe to lose, Charlie is coming in hot for Rizzo. It would be ironic and really disappointing if the Riz God plays his idol this go-round, sending Charlie home instead. I couldn't agree with you more there. We hope he doesn't, and Charlie is successful getting some closure or whatever he needs to move on and focus on the bigger picture. If Kahlo loses, Chrissy could be in trouble. Thanks for all you do, and can't wait to hear what the other superfans have to say. Thank you, Matt and Summer. Good job. So what do you think? Is Charlie going to get waylaid by the boomerang idol, by the BB?
I don't know. I think Rizzo could get burned. I don't know that he'll play it. And if they are...
He made that such a part of his character in 49, right?
Yes. So if he doesn't play it, I think he goes.
Will this group get scared?
I don't know.
Will he share it with anyone else? We saw in the next on Survivor, he was sitting in the hammock with Dee. She was beside him when he said he was in whatever the plan was, whoever was speaking to them.
Okay, so, but unless he's told someone he has it, and I doubt that he will, but...
I think he'll tell him, because he likes being bold out front with it. That's how he plays it and builds consensus. And
well, and that might work.
He's not going to play differently.
That might work the first time.
Uh-huh.
But he does it, so, as long as they don't go after Suri, I'm okay.
Okay. You're just going to short circuit that part of it and say, as long as it's not Suri. Okay.
Yeah,
there. We don't have to think too hard about it that way. Just not Suri.
Yeah.
Although Dee and Jonathan really want to target Suri. That could be the plan that Rizzo's in on.
I know. I'm aware.
Okay, thanks again.
Not lost on me.
Matt and Summer. Next up, we got a call from Parker.
Hey, it's Parker from Indiana, and while this was definitely the weakest of the episodes we've gotten so far, I think that it was still very good. The tribal and the lead up to that was very tense. The top of the episode, I would have told you that Stephanie was toast, but then they made the plan super early to get out Angelina, and I was like, okay, well, maybe, but then I was pretty early, and then Ozzy's really pushing for Angelina, then just goes fishing all day. Christian gets to work. Well, Mike gets to work first, trying to throw it on Emily, and then Christian gets to work throwing it on Mike. Man, that was tense, and that was so fun. And I don't know if it's a good idea for Christian to keep Emily in this game. It seems like he really does not want her to go, but she could very well be a detriment to his game, just with how loose-lipped she is. I really don't want to see him get tripped up because of her, but I think it was really a bad move on Mike's part to bring up Gabby, because they're still close. They're still really good friends, Christian and Gabby. He's forgiven her. She's apologized, even though she has no means to do that, because it was a good move on her part to get him out. But they're good. That friendship is solid. It's been solid for a long time. And so for Mike to use that kind of against Christian, I don't know, it seemed like a very bad read on his part. I was okay with seeing him go. I think that Penner made a cameo, a little interview recently where he was, I was in the casting process. I got cut, I think, because of Mike White, which makes sense. He's more popular than I am in the writing zeitgeist and, all that. But I think, man, if you get Jonathan Penner on a season, I will take that over Mike White any day of the week. Yeah. But also, just from the David versus Goliath pool, I would take Davey over Mike White every day of the week. He was fine. He gave some good confessionals. He did his thing, but I'm not too sad to see him go. As the Zach Brown of it all, it gave us a good Colby confessional. So again, that bumps the chances of Colby winning. He's still had a confessional in every episode. Zach Brown has now had more confessionals than Tiffany. If Tiffany's your USB, sorry for you. But that was I don't know. It was corny, but Zach Brown enjoyed it. I could tell that he was having a blast being out there, and it looked like the tribe genuinely. I don't know if every tribe or every cast member would have loved it, but the ones that won, I think, actually did enjoy it. The only thing that really rubbed me wrong was Dee, who being like, "Oh, woe is me. I didn't get to go. I'm a winner. I didn't get to win this." Girl, you have $1 million. What are you complaining about? You're out here playing with house money. Oh, boo-hoo. Things didn't go your way. Man. You still have yet to been to a tribal council, so shut up. I don't know. That really annoyed me. Yeah, I don't know. I hope it brought new viewers. I don't know if it did. Hey, I'll give Zach Brown credit for being out there, doing the experience, not just being like, yep, boomerang sounds good. It's not gone the way that they thought it would with that one. But hey, props to Zach Brown for going out there, having the experience. It looked like he had a good time. Next week, we finally get the double eliminations going, and I'm excited, a little bit nervous. But yeah, that's all I got. I will see you all next time.
Awesome. Thanks, Parker.
Now you do know, because Rebecca told us she's now a fan.
Yeah, there's like 200,000 more viewers in the first 24 hours, I think. They show different numbers. They'll watch the numbers over the course of a week because things get delayed with everyone streaming now. And then there'll be like the immediate how many were watching when the show aired kind of number. And it was 200,000 more viewers than the premiere even. So I would say they got the bump they were looking for. Yeah.
Well, same thing with using Billie Eilish's name.
Maybe
that's a whole nother
demographic
genre of
music
potential Survivor fans that is introduced just hearing Billie Eilish
because the name's repeated
we should
so
check
much.
this out and see.
But it was for her. It seems like a good deal too.
Well, yeah.
Because she did essentially nothing.
Just
when they
publicity.
come up with the different potential idol names, send them to her, and she goes,
why
Boomerang sounds good. And then they write up the note that would go with the idol, and she goes, yeah, that works.
That one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Let's go with that. And she's
Cool.
done.
Well,
she doesn't have to
cool.
fly to Fiji or meet a bunch of people that she doesn't know. Or
And she gets her name out there.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yeah. There are different categories here, different tiers of celebrity name dropping that are going on this season for sure. Thanks, Parker. Next up, we got a call from Shaheen.
Hi, Joe and Stacey and all Survivor fans. Hope everyone's well and safe. I thought it was an okay episode and probably didn't hit the heights of 1, 2, and 3, but I think it's because it was a very polarizing episode having Zach Brown there. Just to let you know, I don't know who Zach Brown is. I think that's part of the problem, not me not knowing him, but that many people probably didn't know him, and many people don't identify with country music. Look, I don't. I grew up in Australia in the 90s. I have a varied taste for music. Country's not one of them, unfortunately. So, look, he sounded like he jammed okay, but it's not my type of music. And it probably wasn't for a lot of people. And if you look at the Nielsen reports, this was the highest tuned in episode in 2.5 years, so since season 45, but it's the lowest rated episode of a Survivor episode ever. I think it got like a 4.2. And it's probably because it felt like the focus was heavily on him. I don't think we needed whatever it was, like 20-25 minutes was like, that's half of the actual runtime of the episode, nearly. Like, I think the episode goes for an hour, so to dedicate like a third to nearly a half, it's a lot, right? And I understand he's a fan, and he probably came out for all the right reasons for himself, probably got a good payday too, but look, he seems like a super fan. He told us, I believe him, but it just looked like it took away from possibly a really good episode, because what we saw was Christian and Mike have this interesting dynamic, one that I wish got fleshed out a lot more, because look, I knew Vatu. I think everyone vibed that Vatu was going down. The reason to get rid of Q just felt so stupid, and we're getting into this era where these disaster tribes vote off strength when they need it the most. The next episode, for example, in the next run cycle, it feels really strange. If you need strength to survive, I mean, are we just going down this whole doom cycle? Yeah, we're going down, so let's just go down in flames and take out everyone that we can with us. Anyway, I thought that there was not enough focus on him, because it looks like from Mike's exit interviews, there was a big target on him from Christian. Looks like there might have been some sort of vendetta from David versus Goliath, and that we maybe didn't get the best picture. It might have not been a to and fro. And I think this is where production did a good job in probably giving us both sides. But I would have liked to have got a different angle on it. But look, for me, JSFL wise, I unfortunately picked the wrong person. I actually picked I didn't pick Angelina actually. I picked Emily. And I thought, as her surname goes, I thought she was going to flip-flop, and unfortunately didn't go my way. But look, it was an okay episode. The fact that my wife is tuning into this season, a person who doesn't like Survivor at all, is a good sign. But I just wish that they didn't go down the celebrity route. And unfortunately, we got Mr. Beast coming through soon as well. So, yeah, I'm not sure. But, yeah, that's it for me. Thanks for what you do. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Shaheen. Next up, we got a call from Kim.
Hi, Joanne and Stacey and Survivor fans. This is Kim from North Carolina. I really enjoyed this episode. Christian is so fun to watch. I love thinking about the past seasons when I enjoyed these players as I watched them play again this time. Well, Stephanie didn't go, but I'm kind of thinking she might be the person I put as vote out again. I just think that tribe has no strength. Although Stephanie is really strong, so maybe if they want to win, they should keep her. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just enjoying it. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, Kim. Next up, we got an email from Addie in Arizona.
JSFL is getting much too hard. 3 out of the 4 vote-offs so far this season have been blindsides, and that doesn't include all of the Alliance members left out of the vote and those who had no idea what was going on. At this point, I'm the one being blindsided.
Yeah, works that way sometimes.
Theoretically, though, I shouldn't feel this way because this season's volatility is predictably unpredictable. Logically, it seems possible that I could figure some good guesses using this information, but I just can't get it over my head. It is still far too early in the game for my tastes. I guess maybe I'm just spoiled after season 49. It may have been a little dull or disappointing, but only now do I realize how lucky my JSFL score was. Either way, it's purely just for fun, and I'm definitely not competitive at all. And I'm just saying this to convince myself.
I'm not just
saying this to convince myself either. I'm really enjoying the season. All of the blind sides have been very invigorating to watch. Even with Mike, while it was sad to see him leave, I was proud of Christian. He's playing so well, and I definitely regret putting Angelina as my USB.
Ooh.
She isn't doing much in this game, so it's hard to cheer for her. But Christian, on the other hand, is playing so well. He knows how to play, and it's like magic seeing him pull together an alliance. This week, he saw that Mike was being manipulative and recognized he wasn't trustworthy. It was a good move. Christian is so seducing, even next to Jonathan. If he was voted out, I think I'd be depressed.
You and me both.
There has been a lot of controversy about Zach Brown in this episode. I was one of the many who felt there was a bit too much of him in the episode. For one, I'm not the biggest fan of country music, and they sort of dragged the songs on. As we were watching, my mom actually fell asleep. Not to mention, he had 4 confessionals. Multiple sources on the internet said that this was more than everyone in the episode besides Christian, Mike, and Emily. Tiffany got less in the entire season so far.
Yeah, that's bad.
Zach truly seems like a skilled person with a good heart who was just really excited to be on the show. But I think just one confessional would have been enough. After all, I watched to hear the players' stories, not to just see every single aspect of the reward. And there have been several other major ones in the past. So why does this one get an entire backstory? Anyways, next week with the predicted double vote out, I'm actually feeling a little more confident about my picks.
All right.
I think Vato will again lose. So I think I'm going to put Angelina as my vote out, but I'm looking forward to hearing what other people have to say. All right, thanks, Hattie, and you get to choose 2 people this week. So I guess he hasn't figured out the other one yet.
Well, it's kind of hard to decide who's going to lose, Kahlo or Sela. And because they're playing up the two, the Charlie versus
you're
Rizzo.
assuming for sure Vato.
Yeah, by default, yeah. It could, we'll talk about that. I can envision a way where that doesn't happen, which would actually be more interesting.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. We'll get to more of that at the end. Good deal. Thanks, Addie. Next up, we got a call from Pat.
Hello, Joanne and Stacey. This is Pat calling from Missouri. This week I'm on vacation. I wanted to get my call in real quick before the deadline. I liked this episode. Wasn't my favorite. To me, it was probably the left of the season as far as my favorites go. But I did like the Zach Brown thing. I thought that was good. I'm all for anything to get Survivor popular with younger crowds or different crowds. So I thought that was fine. I do wish he would have took that invitation and spent the night, though. If he really wanted the whole Survivor experience, I think that would have been awesome to see him sleep in the shelter with everybody and hang out. But probably his managers wouldn't allow something like that. So, and I hate to say it, but I got to agree with Joanne. As soon as they started the episode talking about Angeline going home, I'm like, well, I'm not getting a point for her because I had her going home, and of course it was Mike White, which that was probably the smartest pick overall for them. But that team is definitely going to lose any physical challenges. They have no physical people except Ozzy, and he is Ozzy, but he's also old. So, but like this episode. Oh, on a personal note, got to share this. I was on vacation this week. My family's all in town for spring break, and I my 8-year-old, soon-to-be 9-year-old grandson, Jackson, and was going to have him watch Survivor with me the first time for him, and because he would spend the night, got everything ready. I was so excited, and then I realized about 5 minutes till 7 that it was Tuesday night and not Wednesday, so I didn't get to watch it with Jackson. But that's all right. There'll be another time. So y'all have a good weekend and a good rest of the week. Till next time, we'll see you.
That's a good one. Thanks, Pat. Next up, we got a call from Joe.
You vote out your most athletic team member, and you still lose the challenges. Go figure. I don't understand, Batu. Hello, Joanne and Stacy and all Survivor fans. This is Joe from Huntersville. Last week, I thought Christian and Mike were friends, or at least working together with the David versus Goliath alliance. This week, Christian is engineering Mike's vote out. Last week, I didn't see anything between Emily and Ozzy. This week, she is all Twitter-pated with him. I like the part where Christian tells Emily to leave Ozzy out of the vote conversation so that he would vote for Angelina. And the first thing that Emily does is throw Christian and Stephanie under the bus. And Emily wonders why no one likes her. At least Emily is playing a inconsistent game. Major candidate for vote out. The only people on Vatu who wasn't playing hard was Angelina and Ozzy. I can't imagine any scenario where either one of them can win. Genevieve seems to be playing very hard this week. 2 boomerang idols. I don't understand the value of these idols, except to throw future chaos into the game. Will the Tiffany-Audrey friendship bite Genevieve in the butt? And Rizzo. When are you going to learn that you're not playing the game? The game is playing you. I think my vote outs for next week are Emily and Rizzo. And my most risky safe vote is Ozzy. But I want to hear what the other fans think. Did I miss something? Joanne and Stacy, thanks for all you do. This is Joe, signing off.
Thanks, Joe. Good job. That's interesting. That would be very bold to put Ozzy there because he's been known to hold a grudge and pout and separate himself from his tribe when he doesn't get his way or people withhold information from him.
Here's how they fix that. You want Angelina out, we will vote Angelina next time. You can have your way.
Or just say choose. Who do you want to
Yeah,
go?
you choose. As long as it's not us, you have to choose Angelina. Now, he would, but I think that might appease him.
Do you think Christian will go to him with that?
Maybe. I think Stephanie may have to get involved, but as well. But Ozzy will calm down.
You need 3. The question is, can he adapt? He wants so bad to adapt, and we've seen him regressing as the game goes on. So.
I think they'll talk him down, though. They'll help him to see why they did that they know he's friends with Mike, and that's the only reason they didn't tell him he's still in their alliance, and that they knew that he wouldn't be able to vote for Mike, and that's why they did it that way.
Right.
And besides, where else does he have to go?
Well, we've seen him separate himself before.
So,
Yeah.
You shouldn't have thought you had it in the bag and run off to fish.
Yeah, but you can't bring that up. You can't throw that in his face.
No, they can't, but I can.
Yes. Good deal. Thanks, Joe. Next up, we got a call from Johnny.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy, this is Johnny calling from Wisconsin here, and that was a pretty fun episode overall. I definitely had fun watching Zach Brown do his spearfishing and some of his music stuff, and I've listened to him for a long time, and I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan, but if I had to go with the top 3 of his, I'd say probably all of his collaborations. The one I was whistling Knee Deep there, featuring Jimmy Buffett. You got the As She's Walking Away featuring Alan Jackson. And then I also like the Caroline Jones song Million Little Band-Aids featuring Zach Brown Band, so those are probably my top 3. I also didn't think he'd be that muscular and fit. I don't know why I had an idea in my head that he was maybe a little bit bigger and not as, but I was like, whoa, this dude must have hit the gym quite a bit before coming out on Survivor. wise choice. Next episode also looks like it's going to be pretty fun, but I think the whole Rizzo versus Charlie drama is just drummed up for extra fun on the tribe that's never going to lose. You take the best 5 on that tribe, you basically sit Devins and Suri. That team's never going to lose. I mean, look at them. So as for what I think is going to happen on Aqua, is I think Genevieve and Aubrey are still going to have such a feud. It probably will be one of those 2 names. You can maybe make a case for a coach thrown his way, maybe by Chrissy, but I think it's primarily going to be Aubrey versus Genevieve. If Aubrey catches wind of this, I say she plays the idol and then Genevieve goes home holding both of the boomerangs, which would be hilarious. And then sadly, I think on Magenta, the amount of bridges that have been burned now by Christian, that he only has Emily in his corner and she flips 6 times an episode, self-professed by Emily herself. I think Christian's in a really bad spot. Stephanie, I think, controls the vote there. Maybe even Angelina is another swing vote, and I don't see either of them really going to bat for Christian, so it looks dark for him. Somehow I got the Mike White vote off point, and I just hope I'm not right this week. Always enjoy listening to your guys' podcast and everybody who contributes. It's a lot of fun. So thanks so much for keeping the program out there and just keep doing what you're doing. See you next time.
Excellent. Thanks, Johnny. Yeah, it could be Christian's time to go. I could see Ozzy, Stephanie, and Angelina coming together, even getting Emily to come on, because why would she want to be on the wrong side of a vote? And voting Christian out. That could absolutely happen. And the only thing he's got is the bluff at tribal council with the fake idol.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. Well, let's see. He's the one that sent the idol to Aubrey. That's who he sent it to. So unless Kahlo lost. Kahlo lost and Aubrey, they convinced Aubrey it was Chrissy or somebody.
Genevieve.
And she didn't play it. And then she gets voted off and it goes back.
We're going to talk some more about that.
To Christian.
Yeah, somebody else had that idea too, huh?
True.
We'll get into that a little deeper.
I don't know who had that idea, but
you don't remember? Okay.
Well, I remember we talked about Genevieve and Rizzo, but not Aubrey and Christian.
Well, it's just the same thing with different people. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. There's some interesting things to consider depending on how it gets sequenced.
Yes.
Which I assume it'll be based on who loses second, or well, no, I guess it'll just all be over.
Whoever comes in last would have to go first to tribe, right?
Yeah, I mean they would.
Maybe they let the other tribe watch, or maybe they don't.
Yeah, I don't know. Or is it just over since only one tribe can win? Is it over for everyone? You need some way to sequence that, to order it.
What do you mean it's over for everyone?
Well, only one tribe's winning immunity. So once that tribe wins, the challenge could be over. Does that make sense? Does you understand?
Well, yeah. But
that's a possibility.
I would think they would make them continue to play it out.
Which is brutal, right? You're just continuing to decide, do you go first or second to tribal council?
Exactly.
Yeah. That could bring up some interesting sequencing issues or opportunities, which we'll dig into on the way out. Good deal. Thanks, Johnny. Next up, we got an email from Josh, the Plush Moose from Massachusetts. Dear Joanne and Stacy, this week's episode was a solid one, even though it was preempted by a Zach Brown special. Mike paid the price for playing too hard too soon, and his early exit is a loss for confessionals. Here's my other observations. Mike said he was Machiavelli. Roboticist Christian is the Cogfather. Zach Brown looked like Rambo with his suiting up montage and fish bazooka. He certainly did. Some people wear their hearts on their sleeves. Christian wears his 1, 2, 3 plan on his shirt. Yes, he does. Rizzo can imitate Mickey Mouse. I bet Mike does a mean soup Nazi. No White Lotus for you. He's evidently decided who from this season's going to be on season 4 of White Lotus. He just didn't say who yet. He hasn't talked to everyone, he said in his interviews. Christian looked like a third base coach frantically trying to give Emily the sign to bunt. D, missing out on Zach Brown is bad. Had it been Taylor Swift and Charlie missed out, it would have been a crisis of biblical proportions. Apologies to our superfans down under, but watching this episode, I was face-palming and muttering, Ozzy, 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 oi. That's a nice twist on that. Emily's alliance with Christian reminds me of an old Carol Burnett game show skit where a ditzy celebrity gave bizarre clues to her contestant partner because she thought they were playing against each other. That could explain it. That talent show desperately needed a gong. Charlie's pissed with Liz Wilcock and out for blood. Would Applebee's calm him down? Just as in Survivor 40 several, the person voted out last time would have been useful in the current challenge, which also featured an arch puzzle. Did Jonathan give Camilla a piggyback ride during the swimming part of the challenge? Yeah, I didn't notice that. I missed that when I was taking notes, but she basically hung on to his back and he swam her in. Coach was either being ironic or clueless. The Phil Collins song Another Day in Paradise is about a homeless person whose plight is ignored by passing halves. Yeah. Zach caught 2 large fish spearfishing. Jeff caught 6 bedraggled guppies in a giant challenge net. Yeah, captured Vatu, didn't he? Dee said second place isn't a win. Sounds like she'll be okay with 2 vote-offs next week. I don't agree with that this was the best reward in Survivor history, but it sure wasn't Jack and Jill. That's true. That's definitely the worst one. Somehow Zach's fishing yacht with twin outboards turned into an inflatable dinghy. Jonathan flipped the boat the way an IHOP cook flips pancake. Zach's next reality show appearance will be on Celebrity MasterChef. Genevieve giving away multiple idols is a prime example of Canadian nice. Nothing says hot day in Fiji like a song called Colder Weather. Absolutely. Is Emily trying to get herself voted off? I expected Jeff to chime in with I Ain't Worried About It, now available on Spotify and at CBS.com. Rizzo being gifted an idol doesn't make you a Survivor legend, except in your own mind. Ozzy is unique. He does his best alliance plotting while fishing alone underwater. Chrissy invited Zach back to camp for an overnight stay, but he declined. I guess he's not into cougars. I prefer Christian's double whammy of terrible to a rock and a hard place. Mike is the most dangerous person on this or any island. He sounds like a Bond villain. Next time Ozzy is pissed both losing tribes go to tribal, Charlie will get Rizzo first, and Rizzo says this is Operation Bad Blood. Rizzo, don't trade Taylor Swift songs with Charlie. It won't end well. Anyway, that's it for me for now. Thanks, Joanna and Stacy, for all you do. I can't wait to hear what the other fans have to say. Stay safe, everybody. Thanks, Josh. Good job. Next up, we got a call from Justin.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy and all the Survivor superfans. It's Justin from Michigan. I'm a fan of Zach Brown. I wouldn't say he's in my top 20 or 30 artists, but I have some music in my playlist from him. I enjoy him. I didn't think we needed 20 minutes of him. I would have liked it to be kind of a standard reward, 5-10 minutes tops. I didn't need the montage of him spearfishing. We could have seen a shot or two. I just thought it was filler for a season that has 24 players that we've wanted to see back, and for how this season's going to have to go into hyperdrive with 19 players still left with the finale in May. We need to start double boots, obviously starting this week, and it's going to continue for probably a few weeks in a row. With that being said, it was a cool segment. I liked it. I would have liked it more if they would have added on 3 or 4 weeks or made all the episodes 2 hours. I could have stomached it a little bit more, but to me, it kind of overshadowed the ending of the episode, which was amazing. I guess apparently it's now the lowest rated episode on IMDb. I think that's a little harsh. I think it was, in the grand scheme of all Survivor, middle of the road episode. For season 50, yeah, probably the worst of the 4 so far, but to say it's the worst of all time Survivor episodes, that's a little crazy. All right, moving on. I think Christian made a mistake. I think he made a flashy move too soon. Getting out Mike at this stage in the game, when Mike and Angelina were seemingly going to be loyal to him, and going with Emily, who once again proved she is not a reliable alliance member. I just don't know why he's tying himself to Emily so hard this early. If you didn't want to go Emily, then turn it back on Stephanie. Do something. He had other options. I think he just got in his head that he wanted to make a flashy move, and for it not even to be the merge stage where Mike's not on the jury. Nobody from the other tribes is going to be impressed at this when he gets to the end of the game. It was too soon for me. I liked Mike's grace in the moment. I did not like his tone and what he said in exit interviews. He seems very bitter about this. He seems like he took it personally. He says he hasn't talked to Christian since. He says he doesn't believe they even had a friendship because Christian made this move. I thought Mike understood the game better. It seems like he views Christian as too much of a gamer, and in my opinion, I think Mike is too emotional, social of a player where he's letting outside friendships influence his opinion on game players, which I just didn't like his interviews. I think it'll be Angelina and Chrissy. I'm more confident that if Vatu loses, Angelina will go, but if the Kalo tribe loses, I'm just curious how it's going to shake out with Aubrey having an idol, and is Genevieve and Colby, who were suspicious of her having an idol, are they going to sniff that out, or are they going to vote for her anyways, and then somebody's going to go home because Aubrey's safe? That will be the most interesting vote for me this week, but looking forward to what everyone else has to say.
Yeah, thanks, Justin. Mike White came off as incredibly bitter in the interviews.
That's too bad.
Yeah, he did not take this well at all. I can understand Christian thinking that if in the pregame, he said, this is the most dangerous person out here, and here's an opportunity, and he can make it happen, even if he doesn't know exactly where it's going to go from here. If he can get out the biggest threat.
That's what you're there for.
Yeah. I mean, Mike voted him out, and then Christian voted for Mike to win in his season. Mike didn't win, but he kind of undid himself, kind of pulled himself back.
Yeah, that's just, I think, bitter, resentful, because did Christian obviously stayed friends with Mike after he voted for him.
Mm-hmm.
And with Angelina.
But now it just seems really...
So, excuse me? You were manipulating him. You said so.
He didn't address that at all either. So I don't know if it's because the questions didn't really get to it, but he didn't
that would have been one of my
that.
Questions, for
yes,
sure.
For sure. We would have asked.
Yes, yeah. I would have.
Yep.
Nicely, but,
That was kind of key to what the sequence, the trigger seemed to be, at least the way that Edit presented it. Mike said,
I would want to know specifically why he was feeling resentful.
Mike said that they had a sit-down conversation, and he really thought they were all good, and that he wasn't targeting Christian at all. So he's not supportive of Christian when Christian votes him out, but Christian was supportive of him when Mike voted him out. That's where I'm looking at the balance sheet at the end of the day.
Right.
And he made it very personal, Mike White did.
Yeah.
So he's dragging Christian in some of these interviews for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Justin mentioned another note. When I said earlier that I think he cracked the whole Zach Brown mystery here, he sent a note. I'm just going to read this extra part. I noticed while watching March Madness, and for those that aren't in the States, that's the college basketball tournament that's happening right now. I noticed while watching March Madness that Zach Brown Band did the theme song for the tournament, and he is also scheduled to perform during the Final Four games. Since the NCAA basketball tournament games are all broadcast on CBS stations, he must have some promotion deal with them that probably factored into his appearance on Survivor. And this seems so plausible.
Have to pay him.
Because he was a fan?
Because he was a fan, he really wanted to do it personally.
Plus it works on this other level, business level.
Yes.
That's possible too.
It's advertising, so.
Yeah. I don't know. This wins Justin the Jupiter Jones and the Three Investigators check mark of the week for sure. I think he cracked the case. Good job, Justin. I think that's it. In the world of Probst budget Survivor in the PBS era that we are in, this totally fits. It's business.
Yep.
Next up, we got a call from Jeremiah.
Hello, Joanne and Stacy and Survivor friends. Jeremiah here with my thoughts on this latest episode of Survivor. Another solid episode, I thought. That I did have a few things I wanted to mention. The first thing I want to talk about is, boy, the internet has just been lit up with so many people complaining about this episode, mainly because of the whole Zach Brown thing. Seems the biggest complaint is how much airtime that Zach Brown got. There is so many things we can complain about when it comes to our favorite show, that they have made mistakes over the years, but this seems to be such a silly thing to complain about. First of all, on the production side, do you really think that they're going to say no to a mega country star that wants to be involved in the show, to take time out of his busy schedule to not only be a part of this show, but actually to go out and fish for the contestants? No, they're not going to say no to that. And as you all kind of alluded to, there are millions of people who do like Zach Brown. And if this could bring just a few fans to the show, it's worth it. Now, yes, there have been many awards in the past in Survivor that I thought was pretty darn cool and probably better than this. Obviously, you had the Great Wall of China, the Great Barrier Reef, the jellyfish thing, and one of my personal favorites is the hot air balloon over Africa. But I will say, if that was not Zach Brown and it was somebody I really cared about, like Dave Matthews cooking food for me and singing, let me just tell you, that a reward would be the greatest of all time because I'm more passionate about them. So it really comes down to what you personally value. Because if you're a mega Zach Brown fan, being able to spend a personal time with them, that's something you can never duplicate. But I could always go on a hot air balloon, provided I had the money and time to go to Africa. So it just got up my crawl that people were complaining about it. There was definitely a lot of interesting things that happened game-wise in this episode. But the most fascinating thing, of course, was the battle between Christian and Mike. Now, as someone who's not been the biggest Mike White fan, but I love Christian, so obviously I'm super happy with the way this turned out. But the question is, was this the right move to make? Because as Christian said there, Emily is a wild card and extremely dangerous to play with. So I'm worried that keeping her around may have been more dangerous for him. Because let's face it, she's not that trustworthy. She opens her mouth way too much. And by the way, that scene with Christian trying to tell her to keep her mouth shut was so funny. Then we had the whole Charlie and Rizzo thing, which is interesting. And then, of course, also more Aubrey and Genevieve action, which I laughed at all of Aubrey's comments. It was so funny. And this next episode, we have 2 people going home, so 2 tribes going to tribal council, which will make, of course, things very difficult for next week. But for now, I think I'm going to go with Genevieve going home and Angelina. That's who I have at the moment because it makes sense that those 2 tribes will probably be the ones to go. And that's my big prediction for next week. You all take care. And until next time, this is Jeremiah from Southern California.
All right. Thanks, Jeremiah. Good analysis. Next up, we got a call from Jen.
Hi, everyone. This is Jen in California, and here are my thoughts on Survivor 50, Episode 4. Previously on Survivor, Rizzo puts his foot in his mouth, and Charlie is pissed. Aubrey doesn't like Genevieve, or anyone, and Ozzy wants Angelina out, but Emily wants Q out first. I think, Stacey, you were talking a little bit either this episode or last about how editing can kind of be used to make it look like a survivor is having a reaction to something when it was really something they were reacting to completely different. Did anybody else notice the inconsistency in editing right before the immunity challenge with Aubrey? As everyone was talking about how excited they were to see Zach Brown, one frame shows Aubrey with tears in her eyes, and 2 brief frames later, she's happy, not a tear in sight. So I kind of caught a little inconsistency error there. I liked the immunity challenge, and did everyone notice that Jonathan gave Camilla a ride through the water at the beginning of the challenge? He swam as she just hung on to him. Jonathan is such a cool teammate. I think that the reward was great overall, but I mean, who wouldn't want a major star coming and giving them a private little concert? I thought that was great, and I thought showing Zach Brown's skills in the water with spearfishing was on brand for Survivor, given that so many survivors tried to spearfish, and having him cook. It was all great. My only complaint is that they spent a whole lot of time on it. I would have liked to have seen more about what was going on the tribes. But having said that, was there really anything to show? On New Zealand, a talent show? What a waste of time. I mean, I guess there really wasn't much going on in the other tribes to show. We got the talent show, and then we got a bunch of hard feelings about not being able to see Zach Brown. I mean, I guess we got a little bit. We got to see Rizzo get the boomerang idol, which I wish Genevieve would have given to anyone else but Rizzo. But we had a lot going on Vaatu. I mean, I am so shocked that Mike White sank his own game trying to save Angelina. Why? What a waste of an opportunity. I felt like the way he talked about Christian and his reluctance to vote out Emily is exactly how his relationship was with Angelina. I think I would rather have had Emily voted out. I don't think that Mike was all that dangerous. I think Emily was definitely the more dangerous. Mike just struck a nerve with Christian, and that was his downfall, I guess. On the other hand, though, Angelina was truly the path of least resistance. I think they could have gotten Angelina out. If Ozzy, Christian, Emily, and Stephanie voted for her, that might have been the best decision. It would have saved Mike from himself if Angelina was no longer there. Then he could have played his own game instead of the protect Angelina game again, just like he did in David versus Goliath. It was just too much heavy lifting to keep Angelina in the game, and I hope he doesn't regret playing basically Angelina's game and not playing his own game just to save her. Anyway, I'm disappointed that Mike's gone. I really liked his narrating. I thought he was fun. But I can't wait to hear what everyone else has to say and everyone else's impressions. Till next week.
Excellent. Thanks, Jen.
Would have been Blake Shelton for me.
Yeah? Okay. No surprise there. I guess I'm thinking about what Jen was saying there with Angelina versus Mike. And Mike summed it up so well. She's just a number. She's just there. She's not a threat to anyone. And Christian is really focused on getting rid of threats. So I think that's the choice. It still comes back to he wasn't in a good position before this because there's no way he can trust Mike and Angelina on anything inside the game.
No, I don't think so either, and that's a proven fact.
Right. That's something that he could count on from that perspective. He's not going to know how to make it forward here, but he knows that they betrayed him already once in the past and that Mike's avidly working for her again, just like before. So,
Well, and I think that he couldn't trust Mike, number one, and especially when he started to, it almost felt like bullying with the manipulation. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I didn't like how Mike handled that and the things he said about it. So, and the other thing is that Mike kept getting, I thought a couple times he might actually quit. Mm-hmm. You know, when he would get low or he would get too hungry or he would, you know, not be feeling good at tribal.
Yeah, he said in his interviews this was way harder this time.
Yeah. So.
And he says the early game is just pain. There's no reward until you get to the end. So all he got out of it this time was pain.
Well, that could leave a bitter taste as well. Mm-hmm. But at least he got to show off his abs. But
well, I would say at least he got season 4 of White Lotus written.
Well, hey.
And was able to cast a few people too.
I thought he was trying to get away from that, away from work.
Yeah, but he got his battery recharged with 9 days of Survivor.
Okay.
9 plus the week before the start. Yeah. So, well, actually it's longer than that because he still didn't get his phone back and all that. So he wasn't in communication with people, he said. He was isolated. He remained isolated even if it wasn't at the Ponderosa. Yeah. So that gave him even more time to decompress and recharge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with everyone else. I'm not sure where that leaves Christian. I'm definitely going to have to think about having him as a vote off, even though I don't want to. Thanks, Jen. Good job. Next up, we got a call from Paul.
Hey, Paul, Louisiana here. And to be brutally honest, I'll start by saying that Charlie may be a Swiftie and Dee may be a Zac Brown fan, but I'm a rock kind of guy. My favorite band is Rush, and even if Rush were the featured guest on this past episode, I would have thought that it all went on a bit, well, too long. But on the positive side of things, I now have a face for the name, and Zac does seem to be a nice guy who likes Survivor a lot. And was that a lot of food or what? It almost seemed unfair. At the Tribal, Mike was really getting cornered when things were sort of turning on him and he discussed his, let's say, skill set. Even Jeff couldn't help but to jump on, and even though he didn't say it, you could see the, "Jeff, what are you doing to me here?" look in Mike's eyes. I'm going to miss Mike, but let's face it, he never had a chance, and neither does our last remaining winner, Dee, who I really do like, but, well, there's no need to get into that. Now, Genevieve is my USB, and I'm worried about her because of Aubrey's idol. You know Aubrey's going to vote for Jen, and if Aubrey plays her idol, there's a good chance that Genevieve will be the one packing. I personally think that Aubrey's a mess this season. Maybe not as much as Emily, who deserved to go home this week, but the two are pretty much neck and neck when it comes to being unpredictable. That said, Rizzo was the best pick for Genevieve to give the boomerang idol to, and she doesn't even realize it. I really hope we get to see him go home with an idol in his, or rather Genevieve's, pocket. So last week I said I was loving Christian, and I still do, but man, I can't help but think that he's playing for his wants at the moment, rather than a long game win. I sure hope we don't see Emily burning him the way he did Mike. And is Charlie going into a kind of holly hole where he can't see anything but the demise of Rizzo? Charlie, don't lose track of the game. Personal differences need to be put aside, but you know what? It appears that Maria lives in his head rent-free. Oh, and I thought Charlie's fight with Jonathan was much better than that mouse impersonation.
Yes.
I wonder if Mickey Mouse is Rizzo's spirit animal. It's fitting, right? And as for Rizzo's final vote last season, I have to stick up for him and say that between Sophie and Savannah, the choice was clear, besties or not. Had Sophie played her advantage correctly, then yeah, she could have won. He made the right call, whereas Maria's not voting for Charlie just appeared to be spite. But that was last season and, 3 seasons ago? On to this season. With 2 vote-offs next week, I'm surely picking Vatu to lose, along with Kalo. Ozzy, come on, man, don't burn bridges or you're going to be next to go. But then again, that idol probably makes him feel safe. Probably safer than he should be feeling. Now, with Ozzy, it's the social thing. You know, he's trying, but wow. So, yeah, Ozzy's idol could save him because I think he's going to be sulking and mad and therefore become the target. But would he then target Christian after playing his idol? I think so. Perhaps he can turn the tribe against him for that sole purpose alone. I just don't know. But when Emily opens her mouth again, and she will, perhaps she'll finally convince Christian to vote her off. Again. Who knows? I'm more sure about the Kalo side of things because I'm thinking we have a standoff between Genevieve and Aubrey, who has an idol. I'd hate to see Genevieve go, but I do believe that's where my head is at. So everyone take care, enjoy, and we'll talk later. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Paul. Paul included an extra note, too. He said, let's say that Vatu and Kalo have to go to tribal councils. Vatu goes first and Ozzy is voted off without playing his idol. I know it's a huge what if, but what would that mean that Genevieve is given back the boomerang idol before she heads off to tribal or after? Yeah, I don't know that we... in the note if we got anything on the sequencing, did we? If it would be they get it the next day, or would it be immediate, essentially, in this case?
My thought was that it would depend on how they go to tribal council. Say if Vatu went first, that they were that they did continue and they were obviously in third place, or they were just chosen to go first. And Ozzy didn't play the idol.
Gets blindsided.
Then they could totally, and Kalo left, they come in, they go to vote. They could easily give Genevieve the idol.
Don't they need to give it to her before tribal council starts, though? That's almost too late.
Why? She doesn't have to play it until Jeff goes to read the votes.
Yeah, but
so what's the difference?
Well, it's the difference is in how she would approach her answers or anything that comes up during tribal council. You could play, you will and might.
Why do they care?
Well, in terms of fairness to her and giving her an opportunity to play with that in mind.
But she still has an opportunity to play it. So I'm just saying that could be a way they can handle it. I'm not.
If she knows before tribal council starts, if they give it to her before they go in, then she could pull and draw votes toward herself with that idea of playing it. So it robs her of some potential strategic opportunities if she only learns in the voting booth that she has it and then can play it as a surprise. That's what I'm trying to get at.
So what if the first tribal council is held and these next group actually gets to watch the tribal council happen? So what if Genevieve knew that Ozzy got voted out? And I mean, she would have to go in with the thought of, are they going to give it to me? Are they going to let me use it? Are they going to?
Right.
So she may go in with that, knowing that
I don't think
who
you
got
settled
voted
anything.
out.
Okay.
Would she approach it differently or not?
It would depend on whether or not she actually had it in her possession, I guess.
Well, no.
There's
I
a difference
don't
in
think she
there's one
would.
coming versus I have one now.
Mhm.
It boomeranged. Thank you, Billie Eilish.
Okay.
That's really, and you were talking about it before. You're just doing it from the Charlie Rizzo perspective. If Rizzo gets blindsided, same thing.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know, would she automatically get it? Because here's another scenario. They showed in Next Time on Survivor that the next challenge, or one of the next challenges, I don't know how many there'll be, but there's a big water element, and it looked like it was Ozzy diving into the water, going after those two floating bags. So what if Ozzy is able to get them a win in this challenge, and Vatu is the ones that are immune? And now it's Kahlo and Sela going to tribal council.
Well,
That way my boy Christian is safe.
Well, here's one other thing. They didn't tell Sari the full truth, not only who found it, but did they explain it was a boomerang idol? Did they explain that it would come back to the person?
I think so, yeah.
But then how will they explain when it comes back to Christian, not to Rick?
Well, the jig would be up at that point. So
Exactly.
He would get
So,
busted.
Or
he would say,
that they actually
or he
told her.
Or he would say, we could go back and watch that. Or he would say, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I was thinking they didn't tell her that it was
The full details?
Just that he got an idol, but he had to give it away to some. So I don't know whether they did or they didn't, but I'm just thinking through a lot of different things. But the other thing is if Vatu did go, and Christian thought they were coming after him, if they made that plain, why wouldn't he discover the fake idol at tribal council and play
And
it?
make a point of saying,
Putting it on, whoa, I'm going to play it.
right, because Ozzy doesn't know what the note looks like.
No, he didn't even know it was a boomerang.
Right.
So, but anyway, so there's a possibility there. Though I don't really think they'll target Christian right now. He is angry.
So if
But
Christian,
he wants Angelina.
if Christian makes that successful bluff, who goes? Who are they going to target?
If Vatu goes, I'm putting Angelina.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least that's what I say now. But yeah, I still think, yes.
Do you think Christian can explain it to Ozzy in a way that'll make sense to Ozzy? Or beg forgiveness to the point that it makes sense? Or Ozzy's okay?
I think he will try, but I think the other people, I think Emily and Stephanie can help both.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or Stephanie and Ozzy decide to go with Angelina and vote one of the other two out. They could do that. But maybe they don't want to go against them. Yeah. I mean, shoot, even Emily might vote for Christian. So.
Sure. Yeah. Well, she's demonstrated to us with what she said that is certainly a possibility.
However, Ozzy and Stephanie both are not New Age people. They do not like it when someone's lazy. And Angelina doesn't do squat in the challenges.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And according to Q, she's been mugging for the camera a lot.
Yeah,
They're just not showing it.
So, I mean, she's probably contributed the least to the tribe. So that's another reason for them to go for her.
Let's see, switching gears a little bit, Sela and Kahlo are going to have to sit two people out in this next challenge, and they can't sit out Sari, and they can't sit out Genevieve.
Ooh.
If it's a big physical challenge, who are they going to sit out?
Well, it is a big challenge. Well, but they need swimmers. We know Charlie and Jonathan were in the pictures, and probably Rick.
They're going to sit out Camilla and Rick?
No, oh, wait.
They got to sit out too.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
And it can't be Sari.
How about, well, Dee could probably do just as well as Rick on the swimming challenge. So, I'd say one of them. I'm not sure if they'd sit out Rizzo.
I think I would.
If he could do the throwing, he's tall.
Yeah.
At the end of the challenge where they have to throw. But anyway, so I don't know who they'll choose to sit out. You're right. They will have to sit out 2, though, because they've only got 6.
5. Vatu's
Yeah,
got 5
5,
now.
5.
So each Sela and Kahlo have to sit out 2.
Yes, they do. I hadn't factored that in, actually.
Kahlo is going to sit out Aubrey and Chrissy. Yeah, I'd probably do those 2. Because Genevieve's got to be in.
Yeah.
And you want Tiffany in. She's good in challenges.
Yes, she is. Shoot, I'd put, well, is she a good
there's
swimmer?
water, so yeah, she is a good swimmer.
Well, then I would
I'd sit out Coach because there's
Joe and Colby.
I sit out Coach because he has trouble swimming,
but
kicking.
He's taller.
He could cramp
and could probably, hopefully, throw better than Chrissy or Aubrey.
He threw the monkey fist really well.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They have to throw up to the tall levels, different levels, with the bags. And so, from what we could tell. So, yeah, I think they probably would sit out Chrissy and Aubrey. And,
If Cerie's got to be involved in that, there's a chance they could lose.
Yeah.
Who's going to do worse, Cerie or Aubrey?
Oh, they could sit out Dee and Camilla. I mean, Dee swims well, so they could put her in the water
they
challenge
sit Aubrey
too.
out.
But they have to kind of climb up the ladder and all that. So they could, I still think they could have Charlie, Jonathan, and Rick doing water challenge. And Rizzo could do those bags. I don't know what else they have to do. It looked like there was some
There's
sand they
swimming,
had to
climbing,
deal.
digging.
So
it's
I
a lot of
wouldn't-
activity.
I wouldn't think Cerie
then,
would do the water parts. But she could do the other parts, I guess, maybe. I don't know what they all are.
Mhm.
You can't tell everything. but-
So much to consider. Well, we definitely got ideas. There's definitely been different possibilities proposed in the listener feedback show this week. Gonna
I
have to
am
let that stew a little bit.
Concerned about Cerie.
There's good reason to be concerned.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm aware. Especially since Jonathan and
What if on the next time clip where we see Rizzo and Dee in the hammock and Rizzo says he's in and then he says this is Operation Bad Blood? What if it was Charlie proposing something and he's setting Rizzo up for the blind side?
Yeah, no.
But they think that it's someone else like Cerie. They think it's Cerie.
If they find out that he has the idol, then they're gonna certainly try to mislead him to get him to play it, because they don't know anything about how he played before and kept saying I'm gonna play it, and then he doesn't play it.
Yeah, so if for some reason he were to play differently this time and keep it to himself, it could be to his detriment. He would fall right into the blindside plans
be.
of Charlie.
That
Who's the majority going to be on that tribe?
That's the thing, I'm not sure.
Which
because
way is Camilla going to go?
I think Charlie is straight up and going to be flat out going for Rizzo, period, no matter what.
Mm-hmm. He's just got to be careful who he tells.
He's going to be adamant. I think he's going to tell everybody because he wants him gone. So, who's Dee talking about? Is she telling Rizzo, we'll go for Charlie, he's just being unreasonable about you? Or are they saying, hey, we got to get Cerie out and he's on board, whatever? But where they'll actually go, will they go keep Rizzo against Charlie? Will they go for Cerie as a big threat?
If that's what Jonathan and Dee want to do, and they can pull Camilla in because Dee's got a Camilla connection, so they were buddied up with Tiffany previously on Kala.
Yeah, but you would think Rick would be working against that.
It won't matter, though, if they've got 4.
Well-
If Dee, Jonathan, Camilla, and Rizzo are working together, it does
that's
not
true.
matter. Well,
it does matter because Cerie's got 2 votes.
She's got an extra vote. So, yeah, she could tie it. They could get a 4-4 tie.
Yep, yep.
Would these people be willing to tie to keep Cerie in the game? I don't think so. I would tell her sure, but I wouldn't vote with her.
Well, but they would do a revote at that point, so then who knows who they would decide to vote for.
Layer upon layer upon layer.
Yeah.
2
'cause if they
tribes. This is
thought
going to
they
be good.
Could get Rizzo, and he's already flashed his idol.
He could make himself the target if he does that, for sure.
Well,
Oh, I'm
exactly.
excited. Hey,
Because why wouldn't they vote him on a revote? If they half went Rizzo.
You think they're willing to take the risk, or could he bluff them off? It worked before.
Well, they just convinced the other people to take Rizzo out. That's what Charlie wants anyway. And they're like, no, let's get Rizzo. He's got an idol. But like you say, if they don't want to get rid of Rizzo, even though he has an idol, he's the only one with an idol.
So much to consider. We want to say a big thank you to everybody who took time to send in your thoughts and predictions this week. We loved hearing from you. Thanks for putting that effort in. We know how much work it takes. And we also want to say a thank you to Kim for your subscription donation. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you so much for helping with operational costs of the show.
And if you play in Jezebel again, remember 2 people. Choose 2 people who will be voted out this week, and then your regular 4 people you think will be safe at the end of the episode.
Good luck coming up with some safe picks.
Yeah, this isn't, we know what my mind will do right up to the last minute probably, but if I think Vatu's going to lose, I do think I'm just going to stay with Angelina.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not forget, they could target Tiffany because they know Aubrey has an idol. They could tell her it's hers to try to get her to play it, but they could tell Tiffany, oh, we're voting Chrissy, whatever. But if they have picked up on Tiffany is with Aubrey or likes Aubrey, they could just blindside her.
Right, to try to flush it. Let Aubrey think it's coming her way, but vote Tiffany out. Yep, that's a possibility. Whew, there's a lot to think about.
Because Chrissy, Coach wants to keep Chrissy, and maybe Joe and Colby want to be honorable because they said okay.
There's your 4. Yep, it's going to be exciting. We're looking forward to Wednesday, and we'll be back with a recap.
Have a good one.